Q for the Metaverse. The emerging Metaverse still lacks one of its most important building blocks, a sound governance infrastructure. Q's vision is to provide a universal governance layer that users, companies, and projects engaged in the Metaverse can build on. This blog post is the third part of a short series which summarizes the benefits of building on Q. In the first post, I have described the generic properties of Q, whereas the second post focuses on DAOs. Future blog posts in this series will highlight the benefits which Q offers for other verticals and use cases. Governance in the Metaverse. As the Metaverse takes shape, the issue of governance will become ever more critical. Many sources of conflict that we know from the real world will be present in the digital sphere, as will many new ones, some of which we cannot even think of today. This development, which is already clearly visible today, is turbocharged by the emergence of blockchain-based digital assets. Whereas previously digital worlds were mostly fun and games, now there is real value that is being transacted. On top of this, as interactions in the Metaverse increasingly begin to mirror real life, decisions will become more nuanced, exceeding the scope of what can be implemented through a simple if this then that logic. This will require much more sophisticated rule sets and dispute resolution mechanisms than exist today. These will need to capture not only deterministic decision rules that can be fully captured by smart contracts, but also general principles and intent. The Metaverse will only be interesting if there are tough decisions to be made. Here are 3 examples of the types of decisions that I believe people will face in the Metaverse. How do you resolve property disputes in the Metaverse? All societies and legal systems have rules for dealing with such disputes. Of course, many types of property transactions can, and should, be handled by smart contracts. After all, the secure and trustless transfer of digital ownership is what blockchain technology is all about. However, in real life, many property transactions exceed a simple this for that logic, e.g. when parties agree on a transaction in principle but leave details such as the exact price and payment conditions open. With idiosyncratic assets such as real estate, there is always scope for interpretation. For example, if a fair value clause is included, who determines what fair value is? While those types of decisions can be fully transparent, they still require interpretation and judgment. Currently, the Metaverse does not have good solutions for such cases, but it will need to develop those if it is to move beyond its current state. How do you resolve disputes in decentralized communication, such as what is protected under free speech and what isn't? Again, even the most simplistic rule sets require interpretation. Today, most people would not trust an AI to make such decisions, let alone a simple rule that can be programmed in a smart contract. And even if algorithms may be able to handle an increasingly large number of cases, there will always be edge cases that require more deliberation. And it is exactly those cases which determine whether a system will work for its participants or not. Lastly, how do you decide about the development of Metaverse projects themselves? Having a small group of developers or other insiders control the future of a project will dramatically limit its appeal. Just as dictatorships in the physical world do a poor job in attracting new citizens. For the Metaverse to thrive, frameworks will be needed which set the boundaries within which different types of policy decisions can be made. These are just 3 examples out of many, and there will probably be a lot more that we cannot even think of today. Just like any new social technology, the Metaverse will develop its own set of challenges. What is clear though already today is that the Metaverse will need a solid governance layer if we want it to become an interesting and prosperous place.